Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Wassa from the Wassa Show live, and we're going live on Facebook today. So I'm just waiting on my co-host. He's all right. He says that there's just a pretty long delay there, so we're gonna try to. Just wanted to say, hope everybody had a great week. The temperature has been getting scoring high, man. We've been hitting the 90s, and also it's been off and on raining during the daytime, but it's been kind of really hard rain. A lot of storms have been coming into the triad. You know, Greensboro, Mebane, Winston, Charlotte, and stuff like that, and even Raleigh. We've been getting nice weather, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these storms. I can't say out of nowhere. We all know when they're coming, but you know, it ruins the day sometimes. We're out there hanging out, and then all of a sudden the rain comes by. I wanted to say to my daughter's family, Audrey. Her mother's side of the family. We had a nice little pet butterfly that passed away yesterday, so that was kind of sad. Pets are like human beings. They're with us for a long time, and they live with us for they're like our brothers, our sisters, or sometimes our son and daughters. And Butterfly's been with us for about 18 years, man. And it goes to show you, they said that that type of breed will only live to about 11 or 12 years old, but actually live to about 18 years. It's as old as one of my as the twin boys, So it was sad. It was kind of upsetting to see the transition, and I know it was hard for Audrey's moms and so forth like that, and even for Audrey. So I want to send my condolences, because I know when we lost Sparky, it was tough. My condolences to that side. I'm seeing here if Elias, are you on? Can you get on? We're just waiting on you, buddy. And as soon as he gets on, we got a couple of things to talk about, and hopefully we could get through it today. But it's been a good week so far. I've been very busy. Making changes with work and just life itself. Just making some changes. And changes is good. I've been finding myself a little bit more spiritual within. I like my tranquility. I love my meditation. I love to be doing things on by myself with my kids. So it's been good. It's been good. So I hope everybody else is doing the same. Um, I had a comment the other day. I'm looking at my other phone here. There's a comment how my eyes are doing. I'm doing pretty good. Nothing changes. No changes, no significant changes right now. But I'm still struggling with the glaucoma on my right eye. As you can see, I put my glasses back on only because sometimes I get restless. My eyes just feel really cloudy and heavy, and it's a it's a journey and it's a walk, but I'm here and I'm doing it. I went to the lake the other week, and it was good to be with nature and swim, and I love that. I love the lake lately. The lakes have been a good place to go, especially Lake Jordan has expanded and has cleaned up. It's been good. Lake Jordan has changed a lot. There's been another lake that we was going to. I took some pictures and I put them up. Lake Hardy, and it's fun. We was having a good time. We was finding some big, large snails. I haven't seen snails like this, but they were probably about that big. Stepping on them, and we was just playing with them. Looking at them and putting them back in the water. But it was huge. I find small things in the lake and stuff like that. But and then that's what I suggest. On this part here, what I'm trying to get at is everybody, parents, families, you guys need to go out more into the beach, go more to the beach, into the lake, into the river, and do more things. We work so hard that we never have time for ourselves, and not having time for ourselves causes us to have stress. Lots of stress, lots of agony. If you look at life itself right now, it's like we are always working. Everybody's always working. And then in the weekend, and what I mean by working, that's just having a job and not getting paid. But then sometimes in the weekend, you want to do the things that you need to do. Well, like you got to clean, you got to wash dishes, You gotta wash clothes. You know, there's so much stuff. You're still working. You're not enjoying life. You're not enjoying your time. You know, I mean, we're working now Monday through Sundays, and it's crazy. And people need to start going out there more. You know, just hey, 5 o'clock comes. That's it. You know, the overtime. It's like we're working more and more and more to pay other things rather than to enjoy life. You know, we're trying to stay up afloat of water. You know, we're trying to stay above the water. We're trying to stay alive. You know, everything is going up, but people's money. You know, and and businesses, everything is on the high rise. And then they tell me that there's not a recession coming or anything, and there is. When you're at the gas station and you see the 3.80 or $4 a gallon, you know there's something going on. $4 a gallon. The food is up. Eggs cost $4. A gallon of milk almost $6. Food is just high rise. You go to McDonald's now. I remember when you used to go to McDonald's $10 or $15 and you can buy yourself and a couple of members of your family some food. Shoot, now you go to Chinese or any type of restaurant or fast food and you're spending $40, $50 easily, quick. Even between two people, meals now are $15 a piece. McDonald's or anything like that, and you're spending easily could go into the $20, $25 just for a number two and a number one, you know. And even it's funny how the Dollar Tree is no more a dollar. Now they got $1, $3, and $5, and even Five Below. Remember Five Below? It's no longer Five Below. It is no longer Five Below. It's actually have $10 items, $8 items. They got a section now Five Below, but the other section is five and above. And they're saying that we don't have a recession. Yeah, that's a recession, man. When you're spending, when stores and businesses are rising and you're not getting a raise in your job or you're not making more money, then yeah, that's a recession. And then rent is going up. It's ridiculous how now these houses are renting small 2 bedroom for $1,600-$1,800 a month. Ain't nobody's raising up the dough. Nobody's dishing out. Everybody wants you to pay. Everybody wants you to pay the rent, to pay the gas, and pay all these um, remedies, and nobody's paying more. Nobody's paying more. Nobody's paying more. That's why sometimes I always try to give extra to people that work with me. I always try to give extra because I know how it feels. I try to take care of my employees. I try to take care of my 1099 contractors because I know what it is. And, they stay with me for a pretty long time. So, here he is. All right, we're going to be having my co-host. I think he's jumping on. So as soon as he gets on, but that's for me. That's a recession. When the money goes down, when you're getting paid the same and everything else is rising, people don't feel it when they got money. They don't. They don't feel that. They don't feel the middle class or the low class, and that kind of bothers me a little because for them it's not a recession because all they have to do is they actually have the whole business section monopolized. It doesn't bother them. All they have to do is raise the burger, raise the milk, or raise anything, and it's risen. There's nothing we can do. And there is something, but I don't think society even has that unity to get together and boycott things. One of the things that I like about England is that when anything goes up in England, the community, they all get together and they say, no, we're not paying for this. And that's why, that's the type of boycott that we should have here in the United States. If we all stick together for a cause, we're going to be able to do it. But there's always, people that be like, no, I'm going to pay anyway, the $6, I don't got time to boycott. And then you wonder why, things are high and crazy. I'm trying to get my co-host on. But while we're having, all this food is rising and the top 1%, they're monopolizing everything. Like I said, they could just, even McDonald's, believe it or not, McDonald's could just raise up the price for $1 and people won't boycott it. they won't boycott it. That's it. They'll just keep buying it and buying it. And that's our mistake. That's the consumer's mistake, man. That's our fault. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be finally, sticking together, everybody, and stop this madness, man. Because nobody's making it anymore. The middle class is dropping down to the low class, the poor class, and the poor class is getting poorer. We need to start. Where are our leaders at, man? Everybody knows I'm 50 years old. We need some leaders, man. In this society today, we need some leaders, and I'm talking to the young generation, man. You guys got to put on your pants and your underwears and your panties and start, rising up, man. Because we need some leaders. We need some real good leaders that's gonna bring, society and the youth and everybody together, unite everybody, and stop this madness, stop this high rise of food, just stop all this stuff, man. It's going crazy every day. Food is up and gas is up, rent is up, and they want you to make ends meet. They want you to make ends meet with try it again, Steven, all right? Getting back, guys. It's just we gotta young guys, man, please, man, get together, do something. All these groups are and I hate to say it, there's so many groups being made of, a group for stopping this, or a group for fighting for these rights, or a group is, everybody's being separated, believe it or not. And all these groups that are coming up, all you're doing is separating individuals. And we need to stop that. We need to have group leaders that's going to unite everybody together, not separate. Listen, since the beginning of time, since the beginning of time, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what religion you have. It's since the beginning of time, man. It's always been left and right. I don't care what religion you in. Since the beginning of time, there's been left and right. Okay? And because it's been left and right, all right, no one's going to be able to change that. Hey, Steven, write me a comment. Is the connection with mine's bad, or is it with you? Send me a text, please. Right there in the comments. Since the beginning of time, there's been a left and a right, people. Left and a right. Good and evil. Left, right. You got 2 eyes. You got 2 ears. You got 2 arms. You got 2 legs. You got a left and a right. It's always going to be like that. And and I'm telling people now, that's not going to change. People are always going to be different. We always going to have different people. We always going to have what society says is good and what society says is bad. People are going to be different all the time. As long as babies are being made, people are born, we're always going to have 2 different sides. Maybe 3 sides, maybe 4 sides. But people are always going to be in different categories, and people are going to believe in what their beliefs and how they're taught and how they're raised and how they how they're taught. Okay, we're not going to change that. I don't care what anybody tries to do. We're not going to change that. No matter what. We can unite, and instead of trying to divide all the time, we should always be practicing how to unite. But we don't have leaders anymore that want to unite. We have leaders now that want to separate and want to have different rights for this and different rights for this group and different. That's separation. You think you're trying to make everybody have equal rights, but instead you're dividing people. And this is the way I feel. And nobody's gonna change left or right. Okay, you have Congress. You have 365 people from Congress. You have senators. You have mayors, governors. None of them could ever agree together. None of them could ever agree together. You know why? They're too much about fighting about the differences. They're trying to say, forget about our differences, and why don't we try to work on the things that we can work together as a group or as a team. Most political people, all they do is try to divide. Always trying to divide. Stop trying to divide and work together on what you can work together with and make it better for us. Always, and I'm going to tell again to people, guys, stop watching social media so much. I watch it, once in a while. And I'm telling you, go to the Congress channel. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Congress channel, and what I suggest you guys to do is watch them. Watch them how they vote on things. Where you thinking that a senator or a mayor or a congressman is voting on your side, actually see who's voting for what. And you're going to be surprised. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be surprised. Tit for tat. There's so much tit for tat going on right now that it's incredible. And nobody's watching this. Everybody, stop watching the news. That's not real news, man. Okay? People have so many things about the news. Listen, if it was real news, when you turn on one channel, I remember back in the days when I was growing up, you turn on one channel, and you change it to, let's say, channel 7, then you change to channel 9, then you change to channel 11, 12. They all had the same news, and they had the same facts, and they had the same things. That was news. Now we don't have news. We got channel 5 fighting with channel 11 channel. They're all disputing against each other. Why? If it's the news is supposed to be based on facts and what's going on, and say the news. But the news has now been privatized. The news has now been, divided. People privately own it. They tell you what they want you to know from that channel. Now they're competing with one another for, ratings. It's not news. It's now a business. It's been a business. So real news, go to the Congress channel and watch what they're voting. Watch what is being put into law, and who's voting on what in your community. Find out who your congressman is, who's your senator, and watch them vote, and watch them speak, and then you'll be surprised. Then you'll realize what's news and what's not news. And again, we need leaders. We need freaking leaders. We need leaders to come up here and fight for us, and talk for us, because it's crazy. Again, we're never gonna unite the left with the right. We're never gonna unite the right with the left. It's just impossible. People, as long as there's been God, and some people believe in the devil, it exists since day one. So we're not gonna change, how to look. And all this about equal rights and people trying to become as one, that's never gonna work neither. Equal rights. There's believe it or not, when you go back to the Constitution and you read it, there's certain things that I believe our forefathers and our founding fathers got something correct. Freedom of speech, and there's certain amendments there that we all should live by. And I think, but what happened? Everybody starts breaking it down. Everybody wants now to be literal. Everybody wants to just break what we already have in history. I'm waiting now for somebody to come and break the Constitution down, and which they're already trying to do it. They're already trying to do it, and because of George Washington or this person, or Lincoln, or whatever, man. It just pisses me off that we're gonna try to break what happened back then and try to make it modern. You can't make it. History is history. What happened in the past happened in the past. Just we're not living in it, so you can't make a judgment of what happened in the past. It was a different time. We're gonna try to we gotta try to move it forward, guys. I'm really talking to everyone out there in the world. We gotta get past certain things. We have to move from trying to make the left see the right and the right see the left. It's never going to happen. You're never going to see that happen. We just got to try to work on what we can work together as a team, as one, not trying to separate us, and again, getting back, we're looking for leaders. I'm calling out to the young generation out there, get yourself together. Get yourself together and stop trying to divide and unite. That was one of the things. If you look at, I don't care what leaders you look at. I don't care if you look at the worst leaders. There's one thing that always works is when you unite. If you want to say, look at a prime example. Man, it's a terrible example, but I'm gonna bring it out to you because I got no hair on my tongue. Hitler, what he do? He united to destroy. He united to hate, but he united what they all had in common to make it work. But what did the United States do? What did England and all the other countries that were against Hitler? We didn't work. Hitler was winning until we united, until we had a common goal, and the common goal was to destroy Hitler. And if we did not have that common goal and stick with that common goal, then we would never won the war. And that's something that I tell everybody. Stop trying to separate and unite, man, unite. And I'll leave this point before I take a break, and hopefully I can get Steve and my co-host on. Okay, I'm trying to unite people, and what I mean by that is that stop trying to. We need to unite in the common goals. We're all hungry. We all gotta eat. We all need money because we all gotta pay our bills. We all have to live. But there's no reason why we can't live and try to struggle 7 days a week. If I had this mentality when I was younger, and I would have probably just ran for the mayor or a senator, or I would have became a political person, and I would have ran my parties a lot different. I would have definitely lived for the people. There's a lot of Congress people and there's a lot of people, politician people that say, yeah, I live for the people. They don't live for nothing. Living for the people is understanding what we're going through, what every little person goes through. But everything's monetized right now. But I would not let industries or companies raise food, raise the prices on food, raise gas, raise housing, raise money on the housing without people paying more. All these big companies that want more, they should be paying more, and that balances the economy, because the more the regular man has, the more he has to spend, But we want to spend and enjoy our life just like those millionaires and those rich people have. When they go skiing and they're enjoying their life because they can sit down and enjoy their life while we're doing all the hard work. And people say, Ray, you got a company. Yeah, I got a company, and I try to share my wealth. I try to share my love. I try to share because you know what? When I die tomorrow, if I die tomorrow, or the next day, or the next month, or the next year, or the next 20 years, I'm not taking none of that money with. I'm leaving it behind to my kids. I'm leaving it to the next man. I'm leaving it to, if I'm married at the time, I'm leaving it to my wife. You don't take the money with you. What I want people to start enjoying is life. I really do. I would like to see people enjoy life. I want people to work Monday through Thursday. If I was the president or the congressman, I would try to make it happen. People work Monday through Thursday and enjoy the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And somebody told me one time I was just talking on the table. They was like, why Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I said, because you need one day to take care of your personal issues. You need one day to pay your bills. You need one day to wash your clothes. You need one day to cook and do everything that you need to do with your kids. And then the rest of the, Saturday, you go and you enjoy life. You go to the beach. You go to the park. You go hang out with your friends. You have that day. And then Sunday is, if you want to be a religious person, you got your religious day. If not, then you continue with your home activities. But those are the three, days that I know that are very religious: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So why not take those days off? And one of the things, like my son right now, he's in Australia. He's out there having a good time. He says, "Dad, over here is different, but it's fun." And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Man, everything's closed by 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? People work till about 3. And by 5 o'clock, everything is shut down, and then everybody's enjoying life, and everybody's so happy, and everybody's so relaxed." And I was like, "Man, that's beautiful." Well, anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna see what's going on with my co-host, and hopefully we can get him on. All right. This is Wassa from the Wassa Show, and just give it a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back. we're coming back with the Wassa Wassa show. Steven, what it's saying on my end is that it's adding you, so um, hopefully we got you on. Yep, I think he's coming. I think it's yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well, it says, let me rotate this.
yeah.
It says I have to rotate my camera for you, but
There you go,
all right.
man. Well, what happened, man?
So every time that you sent me a request, or every time I sent you a request or responded, it never came through. So I actually had to be live in the chat, and I was actually working on something to try to bypass that while we were doing all that and trying to figure out that confusion. But yeah, better late than never, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, man.
So,
We get stretch this out a little bit today. You know what I'm saying? And I'll definitely work on it. I had some technical issues there with Roku, but hopefully next week we get it going on. We got everything back.
right.
Before you was on, I was talking about this thing about people saying that we're not in a recession, and I was talking about that uh, everything is rising, but the pay, and um, one thing that I liked about England when I visited England was that they didn't allow for like the food prices to go up. Like if ketchup went up, everybody would hit the streets and they'll boycott ketchup until they bring back the prices down. And we don't have that here, you know. Um, and and that kind of like upsets me that we can't unite to bring the gas down. We can't unite to bring the egg price down, the food price down. Everybody finds a way to separate us, and I feel like sometimes the society, just that 1% that keeps us hating each other. And things are monopolized. Believe it or not, people say that it's illegal, but they got us monopolized. Like McDonald's, they we can't do nothing. Well, we can, but if McDonald's decides to raise their prices $5, people will still go. They won't boycott it. They won't say no. We're not going to pay for McDonald's. They will still go buy it, even though they can't make the ends meet. They will still go buy it. We're forced to buy things, like eggs and milk and water. They'll bring the prices up. Water bottles used to be $1. Now you go to the supermarket or you go to the Sheets or whatever, and the local store have it what $2.29 now, $3.29 for a bottle of water.
Hmm.
And there's nothing we can do about it. If we want the water, we have to pay for it. And I feel like they're forcing us to do certain things. And people don't realize it. And I think that we need more people. We need leaders to unite us, and we need to fight for the right things, man. And I think food and and gas is important to us. It's one of our essentials, but they're putting us in a corner where we have to make life decisions. And there's a lot of comedians that talk about life decisions at a gas station, but it's the truth. That's what we're doing right now. And the governor is giving out money, but at the same time, it's taking it back. And we're finding ourselves not progressing. I see a lot of people not progressing because of that. Um, we're in a change of life, and I'm just getting nervous at where we're headed towards. Um, it's just
So let me cut you off right there. I know you had a lot of time to express your feelings, and I want to say that I want to go against you on this one, okay?
okay.
Because I'm going to say something a little different. I don't necessarily think we're in a recession. I think we're in a greed obsession, okay? I think that's where we are. And I mean, I have one thing to kind of prove that and back it up, but I think we're in a greed obsession. When we have this belief system of money and an idea that we need to have X amount, and the more that we need to have, then they move the needle a little bit to what else you need to have to be successful, or what else you need to have to be happy. You can't just buy, a car and a house. You have to have a car, a house, and a boat, or a car, house, boat, and a fence, or that, and then that keeps stacking up higher and higher, and the longer that it takes to stack these things up, the worse that it gets and the bigger the pressure. So what happens is that these corporations are the kind of the problem here. They go, okay, well, instead of figuring out a cheaper way to do the things that they need to do to bring value back in the community, they figure out a way to maximize their profits and not necessarily, give back to the community or the people that work for. If you look at Costco, right, as a business model, Costco figured it out. They said, we want our people to stay, so we treat them well, we pay them well, we make them grow from within, and we give them all the opportunities. So Costco has like a 93% employee staying ratio, as opposed to like Walmart that has like a 75% turnover ratio. And there's a company that I can pick on specifically right now that I used to work for that had a 101% turnover ratio. I don't really even know how that's possible, but it is because they did it. So that means everybody and one other person during the interview they decided to turn over and let them go. So I don't really know like what's going on there. But my other point to that is that if we had the people that the better bosses, in other words, if we had better bosses, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. But we have greedy corporate and company like manifestation. The reason I say that is because Arizona Tea has not changed their prices for how long?
Yeah.
I don't know. They have not changed a single thing. But if you look at everything else that has changed, well, why is this remaining the same? Because the owner and the CEO and the company is not greedy. They run things the exact same way that they always can, they always could, and to make it affordable to the customer, they may cut costs, they may cut some things, but they guaranteed to stay the same.
Yeah, but that's one. But that's only one company, and it's great for
That's the
Arizona.
problem.
We should
That's the
support.
problem.
I would say, in this case here, I would tell people to support Arizona for that. To support
That's
it
the
instead of
exactly.
buying a different juice. Buy Arizona because it's something that we should support because they helping us out, and that's my whole thing. That one company's not gonna change this. It's not.
It's not.
I went to the store, like I said, I wanted to buy some eggs. When I'm looking at the eggs at 5.99 a dozen, I'm just like, okay, now I gotta dish out $6 when I'm used to paying $1.99 for eggs.
Right. Right.
What's changed? Nothing. They just bring the price up to 6.99 because what? It's harder to get because the trucks are not moving. Okay, isn't it's like why am I suffering? Okay, why am I suffering? Why do I have to make life decisions over eggs and gas when I should be living my life just as the rich people should be, as the
So
way they're
so
doing?
so here's the same answer. Here's the same answer to that question, right? Here's the same answer. Let me start off with the basics, right? Value. The trucking industry is great at certain points, right? It's really great at certain points. Let me just start off there. And I can speak from experience. I've had a CDL, drove trucks for 5 years, so I can speak for like total experience on this one. Um, 50 cents a mile was a great pay when I was driving. That was like one of the top pays when I was driving. Um, but I will say that I spent my life in that truck. Like I didn't do anything else. There was no other time to do anything else. So if I wasn't moving, I wasn't making money. So even though that I can only legally drive with 12, 14 hours a day, going 55 miles an hour, roughly I was making 150, $200 a day. That's good money. But I never got to see my kids, never got to see my family, never got to be home, never got to do anything, never had got a decent meal, and the industry took total advantage of that. Anytime I had to stop and eat somewhere, for an example, I went to Delaware, to drop off a load, right? A value meal that cost $5.99 here was like $12. It was like a double cheeseburger. It was $12.
Right. Okay.
You know, so like whatever reason that is, and bringing that up there back and forth, or every truck stop that I hit on the way, everything was inflated. Now, for the life of me, I don't know why that makes sense to inflate the value that that the trucks are delivering to, other than the fact of we know that they have money. Because everything that was brought in that store had to be brought on a truck. So it doesn't make sense to double charge the person that's bringing you the items, but that's how the store makes their money with that upcharge.
Yeah,
$3,
but you,
$4 for a slice
but
of
but you
pizza.
see, it's like this. And this is where I'm getting at. Okay, you bring a point right there of Upcharging. Okay, so they're charging the truck drivers $12.99 for a value meal. That will be $5.99, right? So what does that? What does what I'm trying to say is that you're working hard, or probably double, for the same value of the meal. Because if you're paying $12 for a value meal, right? Because you're making your truck driver and you have to, but you're working hard for it. You're working 7 days a week. You're working for that 50 cents a mile, right? And it's the same. People don't realize, and this is the way I see it. It's the same thing as somebody that's paying $5.99 for the meal that's getting 10 cents a mile. It's the same thing. There's no, you see, the industry and these corporations have found a way to know exactly where to be the prices high and where the prices got to be a little lower.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's called demographics. Yeah. And
Right
I'm
now,
with you on that. I'm
okay.
with you on
So,
that.
but right now, people say, okay, I like that for the greedy section. I like that. I like that. But that doesn't sound, that's the greed of the 1%. I don't think that the middle class or the poor class or the lower class right now are in that section. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the ones that paying $6.99 for the eggs. We're paying, 4 boxes of cornflake for our kids. We're the ones that paying $60, a babysitter a day when you're probably making $80 a day. Do you see? And now you got food going up, you got gas going up, and you got rent going up. You got the house market going up. You got, apartments going up. So, but you don't have the income coming up. Everybody's income still staying the same. So how can this is where I'm at. I'm like, well, how do we come out of this? For me,
We we
go ahead.
we come out of this in one way, right? This is the only way we come out of this. We come out of this with corporations and big money stop being greedy.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
how am I gonna
way.
stop them? That's my thing.
We create better bosses. We create better bosses. We create better companies. We create better situations. That we have to provide and create opportunities that stops these things from doing the things that they're doing. When I was using the truck driver reference, the truck driver is going to complain of like, "Hey, I have to eat over the road because I never have time, so you need to pay me more." So what's going to happen is that the broker, they're going to tax on an extra fee to the company to pick up. So the company's going to be like, fine, they're going to charge the customer more. And the customer's going to be like, so it's like if they stop doing those things, it's all going to like have that effect. Instead of trying to say, hey, we're going to pay the 1% more so we can trickle down economics. No, we need to start in the working class and build the working class into a successful module to where they can kind of surprise and support themselves. If we don't do that, we're going to continue in this cycle of like just dumbness. It's just going to continue to run. It's just going to
You lost
continue to
me.
run.
Steve, you lost me again. How you say that we got to start from the lower class?
We got to build a better boss.
Okay.
Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, if we have some college graduate out there right now, right, that's got a multi-billion-dollar idea, right? Multi-billion-dollar idea that'll change the world. And he's that kind of person that's absolutely money hungry. He's going to be a millionaire, but the rest of us are going to feel the effect of it. Now, if that same person goes out there and changes the world to where we don't need some of these things and this and that, and says, "Hey, we're going to cap it off at this level. We're going to cap off. We're going to cap off like the home mortgage rates right now. We're going to flip that to where the payments you were making, we're going to be cut in half." See, now the way it's set up now, you think that they would tell you that? No, they're going to keep that money, they're going to keep that profit, and just change the system and make double the income. But if somebody was out there to actually change that to where it says, hey, this is where we need to be and this is how we're going to grow, that's going to make
But
that
you
change.
okay?
That's it.
So so where are these teachers?
They're going to
Who's
have
gonna? One person is not gonna be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. For example, I spoke about this earlier. You know what I'm saying? And like in England, when I went to visit, like I said, I forgot what it was. I think it was a can of tuna. It used to be 49 cents or something, and it went up to 99 cents. Man, everybody hit the streets, and nobody went and bought tuna until they brought it back down to 49 cents. And I'm wondering why we can't do that here. Why is it so difficult? You know what I'm saying? Stop separating. Everybody's worrying about the differences. It's time for us to unite on our common goals. You know what I'm saying? Food, gas. Everybody should be. There should be no homeless people out there. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be. That's the way I feel. When we have homeless and we're in a good position, and society makes enough. There's enough money in the world. Why we have homeless people? You know what I'm saying? If we're the number one economic or on the top 10, why we have so many homeless people, and why are more homeless people? The rate of the homeless people is just rising. Really fast. And this,
Simple answer. Greed.
I know you're saying it's greed, but it's just that 1%. We have to flip that. We have to flip, and as a business owner, and I try to treat my employees and everybody who works with me fair and good. So I know that they're going home, and I'm going to see them tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But that 1%, how do we flip from the 99 that are suffering? You know what I'm saying? All right, we got greed. We got 1% is greed, but they have all the control, and we need to stop. We need to start teaching one another the truth. It's just like right now. We're we're forced to use ATM cards. We're forced to use certain cards. We got to pay the bank if we use the ATM card. We got to pay the bank every time we swipe it. Every time we want our own money, we have to pay different banks 350 or 399 or 299 fee to use our own money. And nobody's saying anything. Some stores are even charging 50 cents just to, if you're using the credit card machine. So their fees they're putting it onto us, and nobody's saying anything. They just being forced to do it. Some stores now are, we don't have change. Can you donate that? What do you mean? I used to. I'll be honest with you. I don't agree with that. I'm like, no, I'm not giving my money nowhere. I don't care if it's 75 cents extra. I need my 75 cents. One store one time. Well, we don't have no change. We ran out of change. We don't have pennies, nickels, and dimes. I said, fine, and I grabbed um, a Kit Kat that was $1.09, and they owe me 75 cents. I'm grabbing this Kit Kat. And they was like, no, that's a dot. I was like, it's extra. I was like, yeah, a minute ago you want to take my 75 cents, but now I'm taking 25 cents away from you, and it's a big thing. No, you got two choices. Give me 75 cents or I'm taking this Kit Kat. And the manager had no other choice but said, take the Kit Kat. You know what I'm saying? So do you see that they're forcing you to take things away from us? Our money, our own money. They're forcing us to take our own money.
I have a story. It's and hopefully we won't, I won't take up too much time here. Um, I hear what you're saying, and like the underlining tone that we're missing is that I think that in order to live in a society to where we're most comfortable, then that's going to be the problem. But to disconnect from the society to where we're comfortable, that change is very easy once we do that. We don't have to use an ATM card or anything like that, but in order to keep our lifestyle in the currently the way we do, we can't afford to
But you
make that
are
change.
forced. You are
No, no, no,
forced.
no, no. The Amish do their thing perfectly fine. I'm just saying, I'm saying in order to live in a certain society, the way we want to live, we were conditioned to do those sort of things. If you wanted to, camp out under the stars for the rest of your life, that's a different choice. But in order to do the things that we want to do, yes, we have to go into that kind of mode or that kind of
But we're
society. Now, with
forced to do that. We're
yeah,
forced.
we're forced because of the condition we want to be in.
No, no. I don't want to. I don't want to use an ATM card. I want my money. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
mean,
But
understandable.
it's just like this. If I go to the supermarket, there's even signs now that says only ATMs. I mean, only credit cards. Except
You
the
don't have to
credit
shop
cards,
there.
they
You
don't
don't
got no
have to.
cash.
You don't have to shop there.
Okay, what I'm gonna
You could
do?
you could go to the farmers market.
No, yeah, but now, okay, I'm going the other way. But how many? How many? Even the farmers market now, they're all having machines now, and
Well, you may
you
not
know
have
what
to
I'm
shop
saying?
there. You can go
They're
straight to the farm,
but they're
or you can
forcing.
take up farming.
They're
There,
forcing.
there's
Don't you
yeah,
don't you do? So
there's other
you don't feel
options.
that we're being forced to do these things? You're not being forced to get an ATM card to pay this or pay that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I think that ultimately we have a choice into the path that we're on. And then the path that we're on, if we want to make things easy, we do things that are kind of made for us if we wanted to do that. You know, I could drop off the grid, go live in the mountains somewhere, and make all of my own food and never use an ATM card ever again. But at the same time, that's not the easier way that I want to do my life, and I don't really enjoy the mountains like that. So that's kind of
All right. So let's put it like this. I don't want to use my ATM card in a
okay.
store.
Okay.
Okay. And I've looked this up where most stores now are with debit and they have very little cash. Okay. Um, every time I swipe my card, whether the bank charges me after a certain amount of transactions with my card, they start charging me. If I take a $20 to get my own money back from an ATM, you know what I'm saying? I gotta pay $3.99, or I have to drive 15 miles to my local bank, wherever it's at, to get a non-fee, which
Mm-hmm.
they still getting my $4 because I'm wasting it in gas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they make it difficult for me. We have no choice but to take the money out of the ATM because when I balance both of them out, I'm still losing my $4.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So
That's true.
they're actually forcing me. It's not like they saying, okay, well you could pay cash. You know, most stores now, you know, ATM or a debit card. Now you got Cash App. Even with Cash App, to get my own money is free, but to put it in the bank, they take a percentage for me to put my own money in my bank. You know what
So
I'm saying?
I had a guy come to my house and work on the well, and I once the everything was said and done, it was a nice little hefty fee. I asked him, okay, you know, let me pay you, so on and so forth. How do you accept it? He only accepted cash. Only accepted cash. Now, at that point in time, that's his choice, right? So he forced me at that moment to go to the bank,
Mm-hmm.
where it costs me extra. That's to me that's a forced thing because now I have to do it because he's already done the work. If you'd have told me that beforehand, instead of me leaving the house, I might have made a different call. But now he's already done the work. Now I'm kind of forced because I don't have the cash on hand. Now I have to go to the bank, go through that ordeal, drive all the way back, and so on and so forth. But it was his choice of whether he was going to take whatever, you know. That's when you're in a forced condition or a forced statement or a forced situation. um I'll even have like the story I was going to tell you was I was a member of, and I don't care if they don't like me right now, like we have a forever grudge. Me and Planet Fitness have a forever grudge. Okay, we're just going to beef to the end of time. Okay, so I, me and my wife signed up for Planet Fitness when I lived in High Point. Okay, we went. They moved. They moved, and I hope somebody brings light onto this because I think this is total BS. This is whatever. So they moved their location. When we moved to all the way out here, which you know where I'm at. We moved, so it's about 30, 40 minutes away. I'm sitting there. Thank God to Truebill. Knock on wood. Shout out to Truebill. Give you, you know, your endorsements and your props. I'm sitting here one day and I get a notification that Planet Fitness thing is coming up. And I'm like, wait a minute. I canceled Planet Fitness 4 years ago because we moved. And I was like, I went up there personally and canceled it. So why is it still coming out in my account? I called. They wouldn't let me cancel it on the phone. They said I had to go in person to the store that I signed up to, which that store location was no longer there. So, so I had to drive 30 minutes back towards High Point area during busiest times, everything going on. Went there and stood there and waited till they found my account. And get this, it wasn't even my account. They closed my account, but didn't close my wife's account, even though it's under my name coming out of my account when I was there in person. So for the last 4 years, they hit me in the pocket nonstop, even though She had never swiped her card, never used it at another location, and she thought it was canceled the entire time. I lost $1,000. I lost $1,000. Yes, $1,000 of memberships
But
the entire time without being used.
did you have?
Oh,
Did you even talk about giving your money back?
no. He said because it was more my fault. That's what he tried to say. It was more my fault because I didn't clarify that her account was underneath me. And I looked at him and I said, "I'm telling you what, I'm taking every drink out of this cooler. I'm taking every one of them. I don't even care." I said, "You can see it was like 12,000 something days. There's no way that
But
you
you see, that's
could
my other thing.
deflect.
You
No
know,
way."
they're forcing us. They're actually taking our money. They're forcefully robbing us. You know what I'm saying?
That
And I want people. They forcefully robbing us because there's times that uh
you
hold on
might
a
have a
second.
little you might have a little reverb on you.
Yeah. Okay. So you go buy something. For
Right.
example, the insurance. This happened to me, and I just finished fighting. And this is a true story. My insurance. I had two cars for insurance. I had about $65. Okay, $65. Two cars. Right. I added two more cars. It jumped from 65 to $900. Right. All I wanted was collision. I mean, all I wanted was liability. So I got the bill and I called them. I said, "How the hell did my insurance jump from 65 to $900?" And they was like, "Oh, you had fire insurance with it, you had tow insurance with it, you had water damages." I said, "Hold up, man." I called and I just added two cars for liability. Okay, I told them, "I want you to pull the records out, the recordings that you guys have, and check the recordings and tell me what insurance did I ask for to request." You know what I'm saying? I want to hear it, and I want your boss to hear it too. You know what she did? The agent did. She hung up the phone on me. So now I'm calling back, and I'm trying to get her name to make a complaint and everything. They don't know. They put me in a position where I'm going crazy over the phone, and they was like, "Oh, well, you have to pay this. It's good." You know, I'm like, "You know what? I'm not paying it. You can see how quick I cancel my insurance and go somewhere else," and which I did. They actually was about to take the money out my account forcefully. They're like, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. We can, well, instead of paying the 900, you can pay 700." So I'm not paying you 700 because I didn't ask for this. Whoever the agent was, whoever wrote up my policy, I have it here. I have a copy of the policy. It's not what you're saying from over the phone. "Oh, well, there's nothing I can do, sir." Blah blah blah. You know, we went back for an hour. I kept calling back. They kept putting me on hold for 30, 40 minutes, and this is the power that they have over us. They force us to get frustrated, to drop the topic, leave it alone, and then they forcefully take it out of our account. And when you go to your bank and be like, "I did not give permission from this company to take this amount of money from my account," they'll be like, "Oh, well, you know what? You signed a statement or you did a draft, and they can take whatever amount they want." And then what happens to me? I barely have any fighting ability with this new system that they have.
You have fighting ability. Let me tell you a situation that happened. Okay, and it's all about how it's about how you do things or drop the football. I guess you want to say there's certain ways you can do it. I won't say the name of the company because I know people that still work there. There was a situation I was going through, trying to get, full custody of my kids, and I was trying to battle some things. I was going through a divorce, and I was in the middle of all this thing, like just trying to work through, and I was driving trucks. Um, I signed on with the initial conversation and promise because I was a single father at the time that I needed to be on a dedicated route. I needed to be working with my kids, make sure that I'm home and make sure that I'm staying somewhere around. Like I needed to make sure that that was happening. As soon as like they told me, yeah, you'll be local We'll have you home every night. This is what you're going to go through, so on and so forth. As soon as I signed the paperwork and everything else, my first route was in Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, I don't know about you, but if you caught the word when I said local, I don't know if your definition of local and my local was like different, but uh,
That is
so
local to them, though.
so I had a problem with that. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to lose my kids in a situation after going through all that because of a job, because of a situation that you guys want me to, because you both like lied to me. I worked a little bit, tried to work through it, tried to make the best out of the situation. And the trainer that I was on the truck with, and I don't know if you know this, legally, and when you're driving trucks, you can't even have so much as NyQuil, even in pill form,
Hmm.
because you can, you lose your license. This guy had an open 22 ounce of Ice House sitting in the driver's seat. Absolutely just ridiculous, and threw up in the truck. He was just like, he was a total mess. And I'm like, you're endangering my life now and my license, my livelihood, and everything else on top of it. And you're trying to put me in a situation where I have to go 15,000 miles with this guy. This is going to be like the worst situation possible. So I just took pictures. I didn't say anything. I shut up and didn't say anything. The moment I got off the truck, I went back home. I got back home. They tried to charge me $5,000 for training. I said, I'm not paying. It's not going to happen. They said, well, sure it is. We're going to take it out of this and that. And I said, before you say anything, hold on. Let me let you talk to my lawyer. He's on three-way right now. And I had all the pictures and everything dated and stamped. To this day, I still have not paid them one red cent because they broke the contract. They broke the verbal agreement. They broke the written agreement, and they endangered my safety and my life. So the moment
That's
that I was like, we're done.
you,
We're done.
but that's good because you wasn't forced, into that situation.
Would have been.
Um, yeah, yeah, they would have tried to take your money, and that's the whole thing right now. That I think people are not fighting enough the way they should for their money, for to keep their money. I think our money's walking out the window a little bit too quick.
Right.
Um, I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I want to talk about two things that are coming up, two events that are coming up that Wassa show is going to be involved, and definitely, I need your co-hosting there. The first one is a haircut competition coming up on July 23rd. That it's going to be on Sunday at 5 o'clock. I'm going to get more details. I'm going to put it up on Facebook and everything, and I'm going to also record it. I'm going to talk to champions of us. Try to move our slots, maybe 5 o'clock, um, for this live haircut competition, which the top prize is $1,000 um, for the haircut. They have to do a design haircut in 45 minutes. They have to do two haircuts in 45 minutes. It for me, it's kind of it. I, I'm gonna enjoy it because there's always salon competitions, women doing their nails or their hair and everything. This is barbers, and I think barbers don't get enough credit of what they do. Uh, and we're gonna be there July 23rd. I want to tell everybody. I'm gonna get more details, but it's gonna be something interesting, because I like barbers. I don't think we have enough barbers in this town, and there are very few that really know how to cut hair. I don't know about how you feel about that, but my barber has cut my hair for many years. Okay, I think I think in all my lifetime, I think I had three barbers. Each one probably about 10 to 12 years. You're cutting my hair. I would travel 30 minutes, an hour to reach my barber because my hair, I don't like nobody just touching it. And, because it's just my hair is difficult. And if you don't know how to deal with my hair, we got a situation.
I
But they have
think
this barber competition, man. And I
I
think it's something
think
exciting.
I think every guy has three barbers in his lifetime. I do. I think everybody. I think we have the first one, the one that our dad took us to, that we just kind of like roll with. The second one we go to that we can financially afford, and then that's pretty much it. And then the third one is the one of our choice, like after a time. And I got to give, shout outs. You talking about barbers. I'm the kind of person I'll just shave my head before I go anywhere. Just I'm like, you know what, I don't even care. But like I'm just that kind of person. I had to do some, interviews and something like in the last couple of years, and my barber, shout out to Kurt, the man is a godsend, and he made me appreciate the whole self-preservation. He made me appreciate that whole thing. The man literally took, I think it was about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, something like that, doing my whole face. I've never had like the whole hot towel and the razor and the blade and like he did like the whole thing, and I'm like I didn't know how to feel about it. It was a little weird. I was like, man, this is a whole thing. This is what guys do. Like I'm just not that person. But shout out to him, and like I'm used to paying $5. I'm like, hey, $5, here you go. But like that was probably the last haircut before him, and now like I know now, you know what I mean? Like, that's why you have your beard and everything so trimmed up. So that, man, please, I don't even own a razor. So, so I'm like, whatever, but yeah, I understand now, when I come out, I only do special occasions, but man, I didn't even know the culture. Other than Barbershop, the movie, I didn't know the
No,
culture at all.
I mean, it's that's a scene that I'm always around the barbershop, and I have to give out a shout out to two of the barbershops. One is here in Wendover. She's been cutting she and actually um I would not even say she's a barber. She's I guess a stylist, and she's been cutting my hair for about 11, maybe 12 years. And it was out at the over Wendover by the Target area. You know what I'm saying? And she's been cutting my hair all these years. I've never let anybody else. She's cut my kids' hair. She's cut my, probably out of the 7 kids, she's cut 5 of them. And recently I started going, getting my, my hair, and my beard fixed
Oh
up.
yeah, I see you. I see you.
Fredo,
Trying to make me look bad.
no, no, but this guy named Alfredo, he's been doing a great job lately on my extra essentials, and it's through him that I found out about this competition that he's going to be in, and I was like, wow, um, this will be something exciting and new because not too many people give credit to the barbers and what they go through, and on their daily um, progress. You know what I'm saying? Like they just, you overlook. These are. I feel that they're one of the individuals and jobs that people overlook. You go get a haircut and you're gone. You don't think about them anymore till your next haircut. You
Right,
know
right.
what they put into a person, like you say. Taking the time to wash the hair, cut it, trim it. Give you a razor cut, shape up your mustache. You know, until I didn't really pay attention to that till the other day when I tried to shave my forehead, the little hairs here, and I took a big chunk and I was bleeding through my forehead. I'm like, man, I'm too old for this, man. Be cutting myself. And my fiance was like, she was like, what happened to you? And I was like, man, I was cutting myself. I was shaving myself. She's like, there ain't no shave. You got a whole chunk you was fighting. I was like, no, man, I actually was trying to shave those few hairs there. And it was a sharp razor, and I just took a big chunk out of it. And it took me like 2 days for her to realize that, yeah, it was a razor. She thought I was, in the streets roughing it up and fighting and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, no, man, I actually took a chunk out. But I didn't realize, the importance of a barber and what, we watched the movie like Barbershop and stuff like that, and we're laughing about it, because it was comedy, but the art and barbers,
Right,
I,
right.
I got to start giving respect to them. I'm like, whoa, this is something else. So, I try to do it, just make me believe, with a little doll or something like that. I'm like, oh shoot, man, I'm glad I'm not a barber because you would have been bald right about now. Yeah, I would have been giving
Yeah,
everybody a bald. Like, yeah, yeah, I think you need a baldy.
yeah, yeah. I can guarantee you that kind of cut. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. So that would be interesting to do, and I would like to see more of that, and being part of that culture and understanding, a little bit more of the competitions and everything. I think that's pretty exciting. I would like to see that a little bit
Yeah,
more.
well, I'm
That'd be
telling you,
interesting.
I'm down to so put the date down July 23rd. You know what I'm saying? Sunday to Sunday. So it's going to be, the Wassa show. So I'm going to try to talk to, like I said, champions are us and try to bring a slot down if we can. If not, we're just
Right.
going to record it, and put it on for that night. But I think it's going to be exciting to see. how fast these guys move with their hands, and give someone a haircut. Um, the second event that I was talking about, besides that, uh, there is a gaming competition too coming up in August that I want you to be part of. It's over here in Greensboro. It's a gaming competition. Um, Now, not the gaming that you think about. It's a gaming about Monopoly, chess, checkers, um, uh, tic tac toe, and Connect Four. And it just brings me back memories. And I was like, wow, that's cool. They got the whole Monopoly competition,
That's awesome.
chess, checkers, and it's gonna be outside. So I think it's August August 4th. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, August 5th, um, um, MC Entertainment is going to be performing over at Charlotte, and I had to mention I interviewed them. I think the second show of the Wassa show, and they actually performed in Charlotte, um, small coliseum. I think it's their annex. So they're gonna be performing there. So I think it'll be cool if um, go down there. They're giving us the backstage passes for the Wassa
Okay.
show. So I already got that connected. So I'm inviting. Keep those dates in mind, everyone out there, fans of the Wassa show. My co-host Steven, you know what I'm saying? Keep that keep those dates up in line.
Right.
I want to talk about our next show. Wanted to do it this week, but I couldn't get the things together. So I'm going to give everybody a small cap about the next week's show, and it's about police brutality, police. Um, I think over overpowering individuals. How easy it is to a police could say you did something, and it takes you like about 200% of your effort to prove yourself that you're innocent. You know, um, and I'm going to tell everybody out there now. I was arrested. I was arrested. I didn't tell anybody. It's been. I was arrested May 7th. I was arrested for May 7th. I'm just going to give a small cap because I am going to have videos and so much details for our next show. I was arrested May 7th for telling uh, uh, my fiance's nephew to remain. He has the right to remain silent. Um, he was accused of a hit and run, and the police came to the house forcefully and aggressively accusing him of a hit and run. And I was there, and I stopped him because I was asking him so many questions and so forth. And I said, "Hey, be quiet, because they're not investigating; they're accusing you. So you should be quiet. You have the right to remain silent. Stay quiet. Don't say nothing." So the officer arrested him, and he arrested me for interfering his and supposedly arrest. And I was like, okay, arrest me. Go ahead. You're gonna see this is heading somewhere else. So the final court date came, which was July 6th. Just happened. The charges were all dropped. Was dropped. All charges. I was charged with interfering an officer an arrest. But the process that it took for them to drop these charges was incredibly disappointing. This officer lied. I have recordings. I had to show the judge. And even then, the judge didn't want to drop the case. Not because I was innocent and so was my wife's nephew, because she knew what was coming after that. She knew a lawsuit. She knew so many things were coming after that. So she forcefully tried to tell the prosecutor to continue this case, which was absurd. I'm telling you, we had recordings of this officer lying, and the judge was trying to look the other way. and they dropped the charges, and I'm going after them. I'm going after the police officer. I'm going after the system because they almost, if I didn't have the recordings of the police officer lying, if I didn't have the recordings of the video recordings of the arrest, if I didn't have the recordings of the police officer's phone calls to me, threatening me and stuff like that, I would have been in jail, and so would have been my nephew. And this upsets me so much because police now, and I'm glad with all these recordings is legal. People are recording. People have video cameras, and I'm telling everybody: have a video camera in your car, have a video camera in your home, because it protects you from the law. You know? But the next show, I'm going to show you how corrupt police officers can be, and it bothers me so much because you try to do the right thing always. You try to teach your kids to do the right things. But when they come and they try to lie on you, and this is the way so many innocent people go to jail and spend lifetime and years in jail until till they prove their innocence. It's so hard. And the funny thing about it, Stephen, it was in traffic. This court, this was in traffic court, and I'm like, wow, this is traffic court, and they really trying to prosecute me for something that's not true. And so I'm putting all the videos and everything together. I have a lot of it together, but I'm gonna have judge's name. I'm gonna have the police officer name. I'm gonna really put this up there because I want everybody to protect themselves, and I want to show people how they can protect themselves in illegal arrest and being accused of something you didn't do. But if it is not, I want everybody in the Watch show with my fans and everything. Watch out for our next show because it's going to be really good. It's about protecting yourself from the law.
Okay.
You
Nothing to
got
add there. Nothing to add there.
you know. Well, everybody, thank you for listening to the Wassa show. I'm your host, Wassa. Like I said, we got a couple of events coming up. Stay tuned. Um, Steve, last comments?
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be something banger. We're going to definitely crack it out next week and see what's going on. I'm waiting to hear from that, and I'll give you my little quarter, a little bit more than 2 cents, but I'll give you a little bit of that, and we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, folks, thank you for watching the Wassa show. Don't forget that next week we'll be right back on on your Roku device. Champions Are Us TV at the Wassa show. Okay, and we'll be live next Sunday at 8 o'clock. This is your host, Wassa. Peace.